Now we are going to move into Group 2, or Group B, I should say, which has got some really good players in it. Fig, Molten, Bobicus, and Wiseman. Should hopefully everyone showed up, and we're going to kick off with some ZVZ. Wiseman versus Figaro on Dragon Scales. I'm not sure I have a huge amount of faith in Wiseman, I'm afraid to say. I wish I had more. He's not a bad player, but he is not Figaro's level. Spawning in the teal in the bottom right is Wiseman playing for the Red Dragons. And in the purple, why can't anyone pick normal colours? In purple, playing for Team StarCraft Improve, ugh, such a bad name, is Figaro. So we are seeing a 12-11 out of Wiseman. So there's like a few variations on this build, and like the most, like, I guess macro, if we want to say that, you can get is 17-16, which is 17 gas, 16 pool. Then you've got 13-12, which is 13 gas, 12 pool, and then you've got the most aggro you can possibly bleed, which is 12 gas, 11 pool, which is what Wiseman is doing in this game. So he's going to get really quick link speed and really quick bailings and head across the map as fast as possible. Figaro, on the other hand, is opening standard, and I'm not sure I hate it for him. Okay, not quite standard, it's going to be 14-14, which is actually a pretty good build. You do see it on ladder quite a bit, which kind of blends this like macro opening, because you have quite a fast natural hatchery, but also quite safe because you have also really fast pool. Little extractor trait to get up to 15 to cheat out that little drone a little bit quicker. Now, Big's first warning is going to be when this Overlord hits the natural and doesn't see a hatch there, though I guess, in fact, it's going to be when the Lings run directly under it, unless Wiseman sort of rallies these around the edge of the map. Honestly, I think this is a bit of a build order win for Fig. He's going to see the Lings, he's going to cut drones now, his hatch is finishing and his pool is finishing, so we're going to get 8 Lings like as fast as possible. With this timing, I wonder if he kind of knows roughly what it is. It should be slightly slower than 12 pool, so he may think it's 12 pool, but as soon as this Overlord gets in, and with the number of Lings coming across, I'm sure he knows it's way more all-in than a standard like macro opener 12 pool. So Wiseman is going to start to push into the main, and there's already Lings out. So now is when he realizes that Big is also doing like a pretty safe opening. Trading not the best, actually taking a pretty bum trade there. 5 for 4 Lings. Fig is going to chase these home, you know, continuing to trade. Now this is like not optimal for Fig, but the fewer Lings you have as the 12-11 player, the worse it is for you, because obviously you've upgraded them and you've got a Banelist done now, and he can't even like morph the Banelings aggressively. He's getting pushed all the way back. So Fig is getting queens on the map, queens on the ramp, I should say. Spine in his natural and droning behind it, so he is uber safe here. He is going to lose these Lings and does scout, you know, that it's speed timing. This Overlord, I think, might have glimpsed the Banelings, though Wiseman decides not to send them, which I don't love. I think you're pretty all in if you do this. I think doing a little half wall is going to see the Lings coming in, and he's going to see this Baneling morph. Let's get a worker harassed, but I'm not sure Fig is too worried about this. You're pretty safe now, and there's just like not enough units out for the aggro player, honestly. In the meantime, let's look like Fig managed to trade a Slowling for a Baneling, which is pretty good going, and he's going to scout and see that Wiseman is not droning up behind this whatsoever. There's a bunch of Banelings being morphed on the other side. I think we should go up to like 6 or 7 total. Yeah, 7 total. But against this like half wall that Fig has built, this is not going to do a huge amount. Let's see. So you can try and get onto the spine, even with a transfuse from Fig. All of the queens are alive, so yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure Wiseman is going to last too much longer in this game. Yeah, even another transfuse keeps that alive. Obviously, we lose 5 workers for the 7 Banelings. It's a trade. It's not the trade. So we're going to hop now into game number 2. This was a 4-minute little quickie banger, really well held by Fig. Going on to Babylon in game 2. So we're playing pretty short maps. That was Dragon Scales, and this is Babylon. I think they're the 2 shortest in the pool. Again, in the same colours, in the top left, in the teal, playing for Red Dragons is Wiseman, down 1-0. In the bottom right, playing for Team TSI is Figaro in the purple. So that was a pretty aggro opening for Wiseman in the first game, and I think he kind of realizes that that isn't going to work against someone that's like so much of an overmatch as Fig is. Fig going to stick with the same opening. It's going to be the 14-14. It's an opening I really like. Obviously, it's not super optimal. It's not super like eco, but it's not super aggro. So you kind of get like a jack of all trades opener. But on the other hand, it's safe against everything. It lets you be a little bit aggro against a lot of things. It's going to be, I think this was a 16 pool, 16 gas. So it should be now a quite a quick hatch. This is not a thing as far as I'm aware. We'll see how this plays out. Might be another sort of bailing push. As in the first game, I think is probably Wiseman, or what Wiseman thinks is his best bet. Not sure I disagree with him. I think a bit of a bailing push is probably the way to go. But Fig is again opening super safe with the 14-14, so I'm not sure we're going to get too much done. On the other hand, he may be thinking that Fig might just turn around and 13-12 him, and he wants to be a bit safe against that, so I'm not sure I hate either opening. I think they both make a fair bit of sense. So it's going to be standard kind of 16 pool opening where you just send a few lings to head across the map and see what you can get done. Yeah, and there's the Bane Nest. Looks like it's going to be without ling speed. I'm not sure I have played against this a huge amount, but we'll see. Maybe it's just a really defensive Bane Nest, but something tells me I doubt it. So Wiseman is going to come in and scout Fig's hatch timing, and likewise for Figaro against Wiseman. And does see these lings start to head out. With 14-14, the standard is that you make like 6 to 8 lings, which yeah, he went with 8, so he's pretty happy, pretty safe against the first 6 lings that are moving across, and even sending 2 to scout around. So this is, yeah, looking pretty okay for Figaro so far. It's going to be grabbing his gas now, so that's sort of the downside of the build, is that it's a gas that's opening. You really don't have banelings of your own, don't have a really fast ling speed, so you're mostly relying on the improved mineral income that you get, so you can just like spam queens, spam spines, be a bit safer. It's going to get the 2 lings all the way around across the map and sees that the drone count is a bit low still. It's going to get a full scout on the Bane Nest, sees no ling speed, even gets a drone for his troubles, is really nice because it's the same cost as the lings. Okay, it's going to be really fast lair. What is this? What are you doing, buddy? Okay. It could be Nidus, but I doubt it. I'm guessing Swarm Host. But we'll see. So I'm expecting Wiseman now just to pump drones, kind of sit back and chill. Yeah, cutting his ling speed. Just going with the defensive banelings to try and hold any aggro out of Figaro. But Figaro is going to full wall with the Roach Warren. So the idea of this build is that you just sit back, make a bunch of Overlords, make a bunch of roaches off of not many drones, and kind of pretend like you're playing really defensive 2-base roach, but it can kind of be quite a nastier, sharper timing from the purple Zerg. Obviously, you're going to have to bust one of his evos to get out, but completely fine. On the other hand, I don't have any tech. Okay, it's Spire. I mean, the Spire was obvious from the lair. I just don't think you have the eco for Spire. But I might be wrong. In my mind, I think this is a really good sign for Figaro. If he's going to go for like a little bit of a roach push off of the like 30 workers, 35 workers. Okay, it's going to play more standard 2-base roach. Not sure who I prefer in this match. I mean, honestly, Big is so like MMR favored that even if he has no idea and it's going to be like the biggest surprise Spire of all time, I'm not sure he's going to like suffer too much for it. Wiseman's eco is just so low. Actually, they both are pretty low. But we'll see. The problem is that Figaro is going to just make a load of queens and spores to hold the meters, and he already has given up map control playing 2-base like this. Where Wiseman, obviously with the Spire nearly done, can only afford like 6 meters, but then, those are units that aren't going to be into drones. It's going to be Carapace and then 4 meters, which I'm not sure I love. I think I'd prefer it just to hit harder earlier with more stuff. Fig, on the other hand, is going to start his Roach Pump now, +1 on the way, and Roach Speed. It's interesting, I'm sure he has no idea it's Spire, probably until this Overseer gets killed by Mutas, would be my guess. But I'm not sure he's too worried about like kind of whatever Wiseman can do. There's not like a huge amount of things that can really catch him out. Let's see. There you go. Now he sees the meters, and now I expect he'll just start up a queen here, and a queen here, yeah. Maybe a spore if he's feeling really worried about it. He's going to send them, yeah, there's the spores. Going to send the roaches all the long way around, out, like dodging all of the overlords and what have you, just so he can like get really aggro onto Wiseman. Wiseman's going to fall behind this, which is interesting. Because normally you'd want to kind of out-expand your opponent because you have map control, because you have the meters. You have 7. This is going to be a cancel for Wiseman, but yeah, definitely Figaro can't take this. But in the meantime, there's just nothing back here because there's no like spines or what have you to really defend like the big roachfish. So Wiseman is going to have to bring the mutas home, and then with that time that buys, Figaro is going to keep making queens, going to get 2 hydras, and then can push out pretty aggressively. Figaro is making a lot of workers without a 3rd base. Let's see how many workers Wiseman can keep alive here. Obviously, it just takes so long for the roaches to die to the Carapace mutas. And these are +1 roaches. Honestly, these are sacked. Like, we're just not really worried about whatever they're up to. They're no longer really that useful because the mutas are on the field. So trading that for 7 workers, like on paper, probably doesn't look great. I mean, even then, it doesn't look too bad at all. Behind this, obviously, we're starting to get the hydras on the way. I'd really like to see some more upgrades. Maybe Carapace is pretty good against the mutas. Yeah, all +2. I wonder if we can hold it this time with the queens walking. Nah, no shot. This is going to cancel again. Yep. But Fig will get this eventually. And with the hydras out, there's sort of a timer over Wiseman. He's really going to have to probably get up Jesus massively with that traitor here. Would be nice if he could grab a 3rd, since he has map control with the meters, but he probably doesn't feel like he has map control because Figaro has just played so aggressively with those early roaches. So Wiseman's actually switching back into the roaches while also getting +1, which is not a choice I love, I have to admit. Some more aggro roaches from Fig, just to see what's going on. He's going to see that it's a roach switch back. So I expect Fig will make some roaches of his own, and then as soon as he can, he'll head out. This is going to get cancelled again. But honestly, this is kind of a waste of time for these meters because they're just not killing any workers. Don't think Fig has lost maybe any. 3. While Wiseman's made 11 meters. It's pretty good going. His hydras are just going to kind of follow the meters around for a bit. Really zone them out and stop them getting too much damage in. Let's see. Wiseman is diving a little bit. But in the meantime, I just feel like they can kind of just aim move everything across. It's just not worry about it. Losing the pool is obviously not the best, but he already has so many queens, and it's not like he even has ling speed, so not sure he cares too much about losing it. Keeping it alive is very funny though. Trading a muta for not a spawning pool, just for energy, is rough for Wiseman. Third timing is going to be slightly quick for Wiseman now, but he is slightly lower on drone count still. He really needs to sort out his saturation, because he's massively oversaturated in both of his bases, and not at all here. Just not optimal at all, of course. It's going to do a bit of a move out with these roaches, but Fig's army supply, yeah, on paper is equal, but it's Roach Hydra against Roach Muta, which really favours the Hydra player. Especially when you get into the upgrades, which really favour... actually, don't really favour anyone, but +2 will be finishing for Fig, literally right now. With all of the mutas just getting A-moved by the Hydras, all of the roaches getting cleaned up. The DPS is just way higher when you have this many Hydras, plus the Queens to come and support with the Transfuse. I'm not sure Wiseman can do too much now. I think this is a bit of a timer over him. Some Ravagers could be good for the AoE, but these are like upgraded Hydras, so yeah. This is going to be a swift end to game 1. Oh, game 2, sorry. It's going to be a 2-0 for Figaro. Yeah. When you get into Roach Wars like this, especially with upgrade advantage, it's just going to snowball. There you go.